Hello viewers, you're once more welcome to your favorite show, Shantia's Haven. Today we have another very important topic that has to do with our society. Some little things that we go by without noticing that they are affecting people in our society. Some really affect them even negatively. Today we'll be talking about expecting a baby and the reaction from the society. In our world today, when people get married, the first thing on their minds is, okay, we are married. Some decide to wait for a while before having their children. Others say we will have our children almost immediately. But then, like they say, man proposes, God disposes. So it depends on how yours went by. We have a guest today in the studio, and she has her personal experience to share with us on this topic. When people are married, others are waiting for a baby. Others are waiting. Others are looking at you with their eyes, and the eyes are like, what are you still waiting for? Or when is the baby coming? We want to see how we can react towards those who are waiting for their baby, the couple waiting for the baby, and also react towards those who don't even have, they have stayed long and the baby is not forthcoming. What is our reaction as a society towards this kind of people, and how can these people cope in this situation? We have one person with us who is fit for this topic because she has a rich something, experience to share with us that will help you. Today we have Laura Chumbon with us. Hello Laura.
Hi Shantia.
You're welcome to Shantia's Haven.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. Okay. Laura, we are talking today about waiting. A couple waiting for a baby, and the baby seems to either delay or is not forthcoming, and the society's reaction towards this.
Yeah, Shantia, usually, after the marriage or after the wedding and comes the marriage, and thereafter in our society we are expecting that babies start coming forth. So, well, in some cases it's almost immediate, maybe during the honeymoon, but in other cases not so, like was my case.
Okay.
And I was actually married, and I had babies 8 years after,
8 years after marriage. Wow.
Yeah, 8 years of agony, of pain, sometimes going back down that road, the memories, bring fresh tears, back running down my eyes. And yeah, it's a really not a good experience.
Okay.
I tell you that. It's not a good experience.
What was it like to you, the parent, you the woman, waiting for a baby, and every month it's like this baby is not coming and you hope? How was that feeling like?
Well, what comes to mind when this happens is I definitely am the problem. The first thing was, I was like, okay, I am the problem here.
Okay.
I don't know, probably because society has always made it so, or has made it so, and
That the woman is the problem.
The woman is the problem, and we really need to change this narrative.
Okay.
Because it's not really the case all the time. Like, but in my own case, when I started going on this let me call it fertility journey.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I told my husband, no, probably I should go to the hospital, check up, let's know why the babies are not coming. Surprisingly, he told me, no, I need to go too. It could be me.
Wow, that should be 1 in a million, because I've known of a couple of women who come up with this case, and their problem is, my husband is not complying. He doesn't want to go to the hospital, he's refusing, and it's frustrating because sometimes I go and the doctor says, we want to see both of you to know where the problem is actually coming from. So kudos to your husband for that move.
Yeah, I would really say when we got to that part, I would really say I count myself blessed and lucky because we walked that journey together. Well, as while we underwent the medical treatment, well, I had the problem, yes, because I would use the doctor's words. The husband can father as many children as he wants to.
Okay.
Yes, and then the doctor turned around and said, "Okay, madam, we'll see if it's actually you who's the problem." And then a few problems were detected, and then there started the journey. And today, thankfully, we are blessed with 4 adorable kids.
After 8 years,
After 8
you were
years.
blessed with 4 adorable kids.
Born back to back.
Born back to back. I can imagine. I want to catch up. So these children should come.
Yes.
Wow. Now, how was it like? The society and you.
Yeah, honestly, it's a very painful thing to be tagged barren. And honestly, something I wouldn't wish even, my worst enemy to have to go through.
Okay.
You have psychologically, you're traumatized, emotionally, I mean, physically, there's nothing that makes you happy. There's nothing that pleases you. I remember back then, I was in the house just with my husband, of course. Every morning he goes out to work and I'll be home the whole day. Most times, even probably in an attire, he would have left the house, have me wearing a particular attire, and then he returns and I'm still in the same disheveled mode in which he left me, because you spend, almost all your time thinking, you're like, what did I do wrong? What did I not do right? Where could this be coming from? So many things come to mind. Is it physical? Is it spiritual? You try to attack from all angles, and I bet you on a journey like this, you do even unthinkable things. When I look back and I think, some of the things I did, geez, I regret, because I didn't know any better then anyway.
Yeah.
So, but, everybody comes up with, different kinds of proposals. Oh, do this, go here, meet this, and you meet a lot of
desperate. You just want
yes,
solution.
exactly. In your desperation, you get to do things that you tend to regret.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that even during this season, you had friends around, or you had people in the family who got married even after you and they had babies. How did you cope? Because it's true, it's not written on your head, your problem, and you may meet somebody, it's not written on your head, and the person doesn't know that that's what you're going through. Some may know and don't even know how to react towards you. How did you first, what was your coping mechanism whenever you met this situation?
Basically, I would, let's just say I didn't wear my problems on my face.
Okay.
I actually went out, interacted with friends, other moms, new moms, I've always been excited, when babies arrive. Yeah, I would carry babies, talk with moms, play with babies, but honestly, going back to my house and going back to an empty house, yes, that's when, reality would set in. And you will probably want to hear those same cries, the babies cooing, babies, all the babbling talk, yes, and you're hoping that this could have been me. And, the tears will start crying. It was like an endless, session of pain and tears. But out there, I didn't really. Well, there was this one time I think I got really emotional.
Okay.
Yes, a friend had a baby, and I was there, throughout the labor and then up to when the baby was born. I thought she didn't see me, as a new mom. She had just had a baby. She was tired, so I had the new baby in my hands, and while I held the little boy, I just found myself crying. I said, Lord, this could be me. Bless me the way you blessed my friend. I didn't know she was watching. I didn't know. I thought So at the time when the baby started, or my first pregnancy, when I announced, she told me that her plans was to actually bring her daughter to me, you know, so the little girl could stay with me, you know, as a point of contact,
Yeah.
you know, attracting
Yes.
babies to my home.
To your home.
Yes, that was the plan. But then I brought the good news that I
You're
was
expecting.
yes.
Wow. Wow. So your story is very peculiar because you started off by saying that you had a lot of stress from outside. Did anybody, did people look at you and maybe say words that hurt? Did you go through times when you could see them physically or somebody talking about you? Did you go through those moments?
Well, personally, I didn't really surprise anybody talking, but I could, you know,
Okay.
different reports that came to me.
Okay.
This said that,
Okay.
that said that.
All right.
Oh, let me put it, that one know the bone.
Okay.
Since that one enter marriage, it do waiting, waiting.
Okay.
You know, painful to that. Some of those hurtful remarks will come from your own family, from people you're expecting would support you through a very trying time in your life, you know, but you hear them, you had family, friends, in quotes, yes, neighbors, so it was not really an easy journey.
So what is the word you want to give to the society, to people who have this kind of women in their families or in their circle of friends? What is that reaction when I meet them? What should I do? How should I react towards them? Because some may do that out of ignorance, others may do it to provoke. So what is it that we can do to help them, the society?
Yeah, the first thing is be nice, be very, very supportive. Don't ask, oh, it's always like, married or come, I will side picking them. You don't know what they are going through. It's a very, 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 very difficult time and a difficult phase. And like, it's not in all cases that you have supportive spouses like mine. And worse still, if it's the woman who is going through that, the secondary, I call it secondary infertility. Yes, in some cases you have primary, which means that the hospital has declared that you can never have a baby. You don't want to know what that woman is going through at that particular point in time. So quit asking when the babies are coming. You're not God. Don't play God in their lives. You know, be supportive, be nice, and make them feel loved. Make them feel, you know, that it is not their time yet, but their time will come. You know, and don't make them feel like they are less than every other woman in the society who has birthed a baby before. Yes.
Don't make them feel like they are less than every other woman who has had a baby before. So viewers, please be nice to these women and try not to talk about them even behind their backs, because sometimes those words get back to them. And try to be very supportive, and the best you can do is support them. Why not say a word to God for them to help them out? So you've talked to the society. What about these women going through this, or these men going through this phase? What is your word to them? What can you say that will help them?
Like I always say, that was it happened. It was me. To me, to men, what seems impossible to men, to me, is not impossible to God. And I think my husband and I spent a lot of time on our knees crying. You know, somebody joked before that, should God answer your prayers according to the number of times you cried out to Him for the fruit of the womb, you'll probably populate the Mars planet. And I think she was right. It will probably be so. You know, so the first thing I'll say, don't be discouraged. Even while following up, you know, medically, don't give up on God, because I know that what God cannot do does not exist. Yes. Go to hospitals. Avoid people who will tell you, oh, go meet this person who would give you this concoction. I will always advise. It's important to have a medical follow-up. You know, when you have a thorough medical follow-up, and then you can determine what needs to be done or what has to be done, and then I don't think that the like they say, who has the final say? That Jesus has, or Jehovah has the final say. Yes, go to God in prayers. He answers all prayers, and I can assure you that the God who answered me will answer you, and that you have people like us who stand sometimes praying for these women, for these men to have their own babies, to carry their own babies, to have this fulfillment that we feel to as parents. Yes, so please don't give up, and I equally hope that the people who surround them should be supportive enough, you know, to help them go through this journey.
Yeah. Wow. Don't give up. Don't give up, no matter what. Do not give up. There are stories out there. She had to wait 8 good years before she had her own. And she said they came back to back. She has 4 of them now after waiting for 8 years. So your story is not written off yet. God still has something that He can do in your own life. And also, I noticed one lady told me that while she was also waiting, she finally had a baby. But while she was waiting, she was with this friend. They went shopping one day, and all the friends spoke about at the shop was, you know, my son has done this, my son did this, my child did this. And that lady left and came back and said, that was a bad group she carried herself to, because the whole time she heard only my son, my children, my children. So I think maybe people also should
Exactly. Just try not to make the other person feel like they don't. That's so they don't feel like they don't have what you have.
Yeah.
It can be very painful. I always try to be careful, very careful around such women.
Okay.
Not to talk about, you know, my kids and all, but encourage them.
Yeah.
Yes, as best as I can.
Okay.
Yes.
Encourage and encourage and encourage. Today on Shantia's Haven, we are here to say, encourage these women. Laura is telling the women, do not give up, and let's keep encouraging them. What about these women and these men who are going through this situation? They are waiting for these babies who seem not to be forthcoming. What last word can you give them?
To the couples out there, trusting God, believing that their efforts or the efforts they are putting in and do not go in vain. I will advise them to continue trusting God, to continue believing in Him, and knowing that every effort that they are putting in medically would not go in vain. And like I always say, that pursue the medical route to the very end. You know, because there will always, once you see a gynecologist, of course, you will always have a certain, or you have a certain route you pursue depending on the problems you are facing, or during your period of infertility. Pursue to the very end. But like I always say, that with God, all things are possible, and that there is nothing that God cannot do. So keep trusting God, keep believing in Him, and the same God who answered me will definitely answer you.
Wow, the same God who answered Laura will definitely answer you. So thank you so much, Laura, and our dear couples who are trusting God for this fruit of the womb. Like she said, do not give up and remain strong. That's what we do on Shantia's Haven, making it better. Better society, one family at a time. So if the family is happy, the society too will change and things will be better. Thank you so much, Laura, for coming to Shantia's Haven and blessing us and teaching us from your rich experience.
It was my pleasure, Shantia.
Okay. And remember to always leave it better than you made it. That was Shantia's Haven for you today. Bye-bye.